TikTok star Andy Moore joined the grid this week, having a difficult first race, but we hope to see him make improvements on the races to come.
For us to compete to, you know, Malholm, a familiar face, a familiar name that we see, like the name Andy Moore, of course, a well-known face in the TikTok community, but that's already just under two.
Or bodywork of a car. But no, you got this section here as well, which up the castle, it is beautiful as we mentioned before, but it's not half tricky, especially when you've got the sunlight shining in your eyes as the drivers are finding out right now.
Yeah, especially. You can really see it going up that sort of uphill bit past the castle. It just beams, it blinds you, and you almost have to appreciate the level of ability our drivers have, and actual F1 drivers have to get through that on such a sunny condition like this.
I think it's going to be difficult either way. Going around a track like this, it's another track that feels, it's obviously less claustrophobic than our stereotypical street circuits. I think they'll ease some of our competitors' minds. But for someone who's quite defense heavy, like Akavin, or even someone like Comfy Uni who can play defensive, it's almost working against them. Obviously in the street circuit it's still quite compact, but even then with these opener, more open areas, I feel like they're going to struggle. Especially with transitioning from Sector 3 into Sector 1, that's a huge overtaking zone. So if you're in the mind of someone who wanted to play this race defensive, if you've held on to position for so long, how would you go about it?
I would hold them up as best as I could in sector.
Once rookies come in, they show their stuff, and it's not as if they're falling behind compared to our, more matured drivers. They're coming in, quite late into the Community Cup and showing that, even though we weren't here for the past couple of weeks, we're showing a competitive element that most rookies don't have.
But of course, qualifying over, and it stands like this for the race. JJ Van Heffen finds himself on pole, followed by Razin, who looks to close out the championship this week. ERS Griffin Peter finds himself on that final podium spot, followed by Willis Manu, a newcomer, Safso Slide Gang, Malholm, Ishjay Price, the Stig, and Vernick getting those final points positioned, followed by Andy Moore, who looks to try and make it into the points this week in the Community Cup, followed by Jolie, Akavin.
Bad as Comfy Uni's already dropped out.
Yeah, I just hope no one puts it in the wall, so my prediction's correct. But only 2 drivers gone in this first sector of lap 1, which, considering Baku, not too bad.
Well, that was your prediction, Josh. 2 drivers out at the end of the race. Is it going to be? Is that it?
Everyone's just going to be very well behaved.
Going to behave
say
well?
that, but the unpredictability, especially.
And this will be done.
That's ridiculous. We weren't expecting that.
Malholm, that's got to be heartbreaking for the man.
Pushing too hard.
He pushed just a little bit too far, finding someone else in that final points position is Andy Moore, and that's where Razin's got to be at minimum if he wants to close out the series here in Baku. But Andy Moore finds himself in P10, going to try and close it up and keep Jay Price at bay. Obviously, he's going to have DRS around the DRS zones here in Baku, but still all to play for. Still 23 laps remaining.
That's something we weren't expecting. Malholm to go out that early. Obviously, in street circuits like Monaco,
he's been Baku'd.
He has been Baku'd.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what happened with Malholm. I don't know how the accident happened. Did you catch it, Josh?
I believe he ended.
That's really good. It's the rookies again.
Yeah,
they're showing up the fact that they can compete with someone like Razin.
1, 2, and 4.
It's the same thing as last week. Those 3.
It's always those 3, isn't it?
It's those 3 mirrored same as last week. So the fact that they're this competitive and they're, obviously it's a bit sad we haven't seen them before.
Someone who's looking competitive this week, though, is, of course, F1 Andy Moore, who's closing this gap on Jay Price, missing that braking zone a little bit, so that's going to put him a bit further back than he may want. He's all the way down. That's about 0.8 of a second he's lost there. He was within DRS of Jay Price. And the minute I said it, he falls back. So, Andy, I am sorry. I do apologise. Hopefully you will be able to make that position soon. But you have gained 1 so far. You find yourself in the points, which is, of course, a main aim. You always want to be scoring points. At a minimum, I think, is an aim for everyone.
Definitely. But, there's a reason he's big on TikTok, and there's a reason why he's quite often called the Max Verstappen of TikTok.
Indeed.
And that's not just because of his...
Dashing looks
or Red Bull merch.
Love of Red Bull. It's, of course, his pace. He is.
It's his pace.
He can be quick when he shows it, but someone, of course, who is very quick at the moment is ERS Griffin Peter, who
But Safso, I feel like, going in from last week, they can do it. And we got Sly Gang, Vernix, who dodged kind of the chaos near the back of the grid, slid up to P6. GB, Ishjay Price, Andy Moore's, taken a place, gone to P9. Obviously, that was off the back of our Stig pitting. So that top 10, with Matty as well, one of the crash survivors, from last week. I feel as if that top 10, they're going to solidify themselves quite shortly.
Well, it's quite the gap back as well, especially, Akavin's 9 seconds back. Of course, the Stig and now Jolie entering the pits as well.
Because a lot of our drivers, Thom and MM7, those who can kind of hold their own, they haven't in this race, and it's unexpected to see.
Or is he going to stay ahead of Andy Moore? Andy Moore going to have that outside line, going to close it across the Razin. He finds himself here, in P8 as well. Of course, Andy Moore going to have that better exit. It's going to have DRS as well. Can he make the move? Razin so quick here. Only 22 on the DRS as well for Andy Moore. Weaving to get some heat in those tyres and still just pulling away. Not close enough. He finds himself back in P8.
Well,
he still remains. He's still got it. He has to only get 1 point, and that'll be enough points to secure it out. But still, all to play for rather than... It's going to be difficult for him.
Yeah, it'll be Razin. He's going to have to make a decision. He's going to push really hard in order to try and get this car back in a position where he can pit again onto another set of tyres, or is he going to end up taking it 15 laps and potentially risking a puncture? I
mean, we've just got to commend Razin. That's well recovered. Going from that pressure of spinning out and coming out still like in front of Andy Moore, that just shows how serious Razin is to still keep his keep a foot in this race, keep a foot on the door. So it's nice to see that they've recovered so nicely. It's now making pace to catch up to J Price and JB. No, GB, sorry.
Yeah, no, definitely. We do have Andy Moore here, though. Taking the mediums for a...
That custom livery, his custom livery on that Mousegun's Mouth, one of our sponsors of the Community Cup, of course.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what sort of mock-up he's going to be able to do at Mousegun's. Should be really good, but of course, Safso, personally, my driver of the day.
It's got to be Safs, and the fact that they've ignored most of the chaos at the back of the grid and just claimed P2 quite comfortably. Obviously, a quieter race, they were battling out with the likes of Sly Gang and Razin, but they've kept it clean. I think the cleanest drivers definitely are top 2 spots.
For sure, but JJ, of course, he wins here in Baku, followed by Safso, Razin that final podium position, followed by Willis Manu, our rookie, making his way all the way up from 19th into P4, then followed by Slide Gang, GB, Jay Price, who had a little bit of antics with GB as he backed it across the line. Then Andy Moore picking up some points here in Baku in P8, followed by Vernix, then the Stig, and Jolie Collins, the final of our finishing racers. And that is going to be Baku in your back.